Hey, welcome. It's Brian, and welcome to my new series of videos that I'm calling Adventurous Music Fridays, where I talk about one of my favorite records pretty briefly, with a little bit of detail, but hopefully kind of inspiring people to kind of go out and check it out, and if they've never heard it, and maybe kind of talk about, the players or all of that to kind of get some kind of dialogue and build a community around kind of adventurous music as far as I see it. And hopefully with you being a part of that as well. So here we go. The record we're doing this week, Frank Zappa and the Mothers doing Weasels Rip My Flesh. An iconic cover, of course. I love a lot of the material from around here. Chunga's Revenge. There's several others that I can talk about later, but this one always stands out for me. Burnt Weenie Sandwich is another. So I like that. I like that late 60s to like about 75 of Frank's a ton. That's my kind of sweet spot. Anyway, this record, lots of cool stuff on it. Lots of kind of fun stuff. Directly from my heart to you, kind of a old kind of doo-wop 50s thing. Prelude to an Afternoon of the Sexually Aroused Gas Mask. Love that one. Toad of the Short Forest. I love that. It's just got lots of cool stuff on it. It's like Music Concrete meets, kind of psychedelic rock, progressive rock, I guess, to some degree. And then there's the Eric Dolphy Memorial Barbecue. I always love the name of that one. Dwarf Nebula Processional March and Dwarf Nebula. And then it has the big hit on it, My Guitar Wants to Kill Your Mama. Well, actually, it's got two. And then Oh No. But one of my favorites is the Orange County Lumber Truck, which has Denny Wally doing an incredible slide piece on it and some acoustic work and just some really neat stuff. So what's really upsetting is there's no CD in this, so who knows where that is. That's a bummer. As far as players, we have basically the Mothers, which would be Ian Underwood, Bunk Gardner, Motorhead Sherwood, Buzz Gardner, Roy Estrada, Jimmy Carl Black, Art Tripp, Don Preston, Ray Collins, Don Sugarcane Harris does some great violin stuff on it, and Lowell George is the slide player, not Denny Wally. And just a really cool, interesting slice of Frank's career right there. You're hearing more of the 60s Frank in this than, it's leaning towards the 70s, but I just think, it came out in 70 and the band was kind of chugging along and they were just doing some really, really interesting things. These aren't as song-oriented as Overnight Sensation, and, Hot Rats had kind of come out right before this. There was the Mothers with Flo and Eddie. So there's a lot of kind of moving parts. And it's kind of interesting to kind of look at his discography around this time or any time. Because it was like a huge revolving door of players, whether it was the Grand Wazoo, again, Hot Rats. Those were completely different players, kind of more session players. And then you have Burnt Weenie Sandwich. And then, we're kind of moving towards Overnight Sensation, which was obviously kind of took more of a condensed version, like kind of writing more straightforward songs, so to speak. And, where he had his biggest hits was off of Overnight Sensation and Apostrophe. Apostrophe is a pretty weird record as far as it's way different than Overnight Sensation. And then you go to One Size Fits All, which is one of my favorite Zappa records because that's my favorite era of his band. So anyway, go check this out if you haven't heard it. If you're not a fan of Frank Zappa, this might be a tough one. But if you like adventurous stuff, hence the name of this kind of video series, I think give it a listen. And there's some political commentary to some degree. And, it is not the 60s, but there's a lot of stuff in here, I think, that's pretty deep, and it's a really fun listen to. So, anyway, there we go. Frank Zappa and the Mothers doing Weasels Rip My Flesh. Great record. Check it out. Thanks for watching.